Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm finally gonna review the Elvie for you guys. I've been using it now for probably like a little bit over a month, and I just want to share some of my thoughts on it. I'm gonna do a quick little demo, show you how I use it, show you how I assemble it, and then I'll kind of talk about like whether or not I think it's worth it and all of that. So that's what we're gonna do in today's video, but it is gonna be a little bit informal because I'm gonna be like moving to the kitchen and like assembling it there, and it's just gonna be a little vlog style. But I'm hoping that by the end of this video you guys will be able to determine whether or not you think it's right for you. I'm a second-time mom, by the way, so if you're new here, welcome. I'm Kayla. I have a toddler, Riley, who is 2, and then baby Jackson is 2 months old, and I've been using the Elvie with Jackson. So I still have the box, by the way. This is the box that it came in, and I'm gonna show you like again like what the box comes with and like how to assemble everything, because when I opened this up I was very intimidated by it. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, what the heck is this? It's gonna take me like half an hour to figure out how to use it, but I promise you it is very, very simple. So let's take this to the kitchen and then I'll show you the rest of the parts, and then we'll put it in because it is the morning time and I need to pump. All right, so this is like our little like bottle and pumping station over here. So I actually have the Elvie out over here. I've got some of the washed parts, so this is good because you guys will get to see me actually assemble it. In here I still have some of the parts, so this kind of gives you an idea of like how it comes. These pieces, at first I was like, what the heck is this? How am I going to use that? Just don't get too scared. I promise you it's really simple. So first of all, this is the dual breast pump that I have. You can buy this as a single breast pump, okay? That's one of the things that I did not know about, and that is a great thing to know because like maybe you just need one and it's half the price, because the actual dual breast pump is $500. So I know that that can be pricey, but you can buy just one for half the price, so just keep that in mind. But here's how you do this. So this is the actual like mechanical piece. This is a piece of the breast pump that you cannot get wet. So this is the one that you charge, so you can charge it with a USB cable, and you want to make sure that you charge them if you're going to be using them a lot. But this is like the main hub. This is like the hub of the Elvie. So what you're going to want to do is take one of the breast shields, and you're going to take one of the little green things. And again, I'm not sure if this is called a breast shield or what it's called. I probably should have looked that up. But you put this on here because this is what's gonna like do like the suction so that your milk comes out. Then all you're gonna do is you're gonna stick this right in here. It clips in, very easy to remove and put back in. So that's like step one. And then you're gonna assemble this like little milk collecting cup. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see it, but it also does have like lines showing you how many ounces you have. So this goes from 0 to 5 ounces, and it has like the little line so you can see. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this little top and you're just gonna add it onto here. And then you're gonna take the little green piece and you're gonna stick that in here. So that is what the little cup looks like when it's ready to use. And then all you're gonna do is stick that right in. My toddler's screaming in the background, by the way, so just ignore that. But this is what the Elvie looks like when it's ready to be used. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do the same exact thing with this one. That way I have both of them ready to use, and then I'm gonna show you how I put them on, and then we can just kind of chat about what I think about these. Okay, so these are easy to turn on. There's like a little power button, okay? So you just press it and then it's gonna show you whether it's the left one or the right one. This one says left, so this one is the left breast, and then this one is the right breast. So I'm just gonna pop them right into my shirt. Even if you're just pumping, it's always easier to wear like some kind of nursing bra or something that's nursing friendly, so that it's easy to like just slide this right in. This is what it looks like, and then I'm just gonna press the power button and press go. So this one's already in and pumping. I'm gonna do the same thing with the other side. All right, so these are both in, and like you can see, they're just sitting right there. They're inside my bra. So now that they're in, I can just cover them up, continue about my day. I can wash bottles, I can do laundry, I can do whatever it is that I need to do while still pumping. So that's one of the things that I love about this breast pump. But now I'm gonna take these pieces, I'm gonna take the box, and I'm gonna go back to my room. We're gonna chat a little bit about what I think about this, and then when I'm done pumping, I'll show you guys how much I collected. All right, so the pumps are in. I don't know if you guys can tell, but like there's like the little light that comes on, and like my husband makes fun of me every single time that I pump and he sees me pumping with these, because he calls me bionic boobs because they're on and I look like, I don't know, he says I look like the Terminator, or like whatever. So he thinks it's hilarious and he calls me bionic boobs, but whatever, I don't care. He can call me whatever he wants. I love the fact that I can be pumping and doing something else. I'm not stuck to a breast pump and just like sitting at a chair holding my breast pump. So before I get like too far into it, just to give you a little bit of context, this is, like I said, my second baby. Back in the day when I had Riley, like just 2 years ago, I don't even think that this Elvie was like a thing, right? I don't even know that this was on the market. I can't even tell you how long it's been on the market. All I know is that this time around, when I was starting to read up on products that I would need for Jackson and stuff, I did see these. I saw the Elvie and the Willow. I think that both of those are the ones that are like the wearable breast pumps, I don't know, cordless breast pumps, whatever you want to call them. I had seen them and I was like, that is a genius idea. I need to have it. I love that. I want that. But it's very, very expensive. And right now, my husband and I are going through a big move. It wasn't something that I wanted to spend money on, so I didn't get it, right? So I just stuck with the Spectra breast pump that I had with Riley, and it's a good breast pump. So if you guys aren't into the Elvie and you want to just buy a regular breast pump, the Spectra is a great one. But then Elvie reached out to me and Elvie was like, we'd love to send you the breast pump. So full disclosure, this was sent to me. I collabed with them on Instagram. I tried it out. I posted a photo. I did a little demo, but they didn't require me to make this video. I'm making this video because a lot of you guys asked me to make this video, and a lot of you wanted to know what my actual thoughts were on this, and you wanted to see how I actually use it and all of that. So biggest pro of this device has to be the fact that you can multitask. I love the fact that I can just pop these in. I can take care of other things. I need to be able to do that when my time is super limited, okay? I have a toddler, I have other things to do, and I love the fact, like I said, that I can just put these right in my bra. They're lightweight, they don't hurt. Like obviously I know that something is happening because there's like pulling of my nipple, but it is not painful. It doesn't hurt at all, just like with a regular breast pump, but I'm able to kind of do other things. So I absolutely love that. Right now I'm pumping a million times a day. Like I'm pumping every single time that I feed Jackson, which is every like 2 to 3 hours. So that's how often I'm pumping, because right now we have Jackson on formula because we're trying to fix his reflux issue. He seems to be doing better on formula right now, but I didn't want my milk supply to like die, so I've been trying to keep up with the pumping so that eventually, maybe like in a couple weeks, I can start reintroducing more breast milk and I can get back to nursing him more frequently. So that's kind of why I'm pumping as often as I am right now, and this has been a game changer for me because I really do think that if I had to be sitting at a chair with my Spectra every 2 or 3 hours and not doing anything else, like I would have probably already given up on this whole pumping thing, because pumping takes a lot of time. It's very time consuming, and as a new mom, like you just don't have time for that. So that has to be one of my favorite things, just the fact that it's quiet also. Like I don't know if you guys are even able to pick up on the sound of it pumping. Like you can hear a little bit, but it's not like you're hearing something super loud that people are like, okay, what's happening here? You're making a lot of noise. It doesn't wake up my child if I'm pumping and he's next to me. So I do like that. The design itself too is very pretty, by the way. Like if you're the kind of person that's into like a nice aesthetic look, like these are pretty to look at. Like these are not an eyesore. I love the white design, very pretty. But the actual like compartments too, even though at the beginning it seems like it's a lot of stuff, they're actually very easy to clean. So it's not like they're annoying, like teeny tiny pieces. Like I would actually prefer to clean my breast pump parts than some of the bottles that I've used to feed Jackson. Like some of those bottles have tiny little pieces and you need tiny little brushes to get into all the places. These are very easy to clean. It is a lot of cleaning that has to be done because there are a lot of parts, but it's easy to do. And you can throw these in the wash, by the way. You can throw them in the dishwasher and you can also sterilize them. So I try to sterilize them at the very least once a week. I'm sure I should be doing it more often. And if I was in a situation where I was only pumping maybe 1 or 2 times a day, then maybe I would throw it in the dishwasher. But right now I'm just hand washing everything because of the fact that I have to use it so many times a day. Something else that the box comes with that I haven't used yet, but I think is really clever that they include it, are these little bra extenders. So these bra extenders are just for you to clip onto your bra, just to make like the whole like situation easier. Like obviously when you stick your Elvie in, your boobs get bigger. You need more space in your bra. So these bra extenders will literally just clip into your regular bra, and it just gives you a little bit of like just extra space. So I think that's really cool that they include them. I haven't had to use them yet, but I can definitely see that they would be handy if you're like tight here and like you need more space and your bra is like already at like the longest that it goes, you know, like the strap. So that's pretty cool that they include those. And something else that's included in here are tops for the like little milk collector bins, whatever you want to call them. So there's 4 of these little tops, and if you are just gonna pump and then give your baby the breast milk later on that day or whatever the case is, you can just close this up here, stick this in the fridge, and then you can open it up when you're ready to serve it. So I think that that's really nice that they include those little tops. There are also like little bags that it brings, so little drawstring bags to put the actual like breast pump in. So that's kind of nice if you're going to be traveling with it, or you're going to be running errands that day. You want to put them in here, stick them in your purse, and then you can be pumping at the store or pumping wherever it is that you are. Like you can pump and be in the car, you can be driving and pumping. So that's one of the things that I just think is so cool about this. There are a few things though that are a little bit annoying about this pump, so let's talk about those. My biggest issue with the pump is the fact that there are a few times when I will put the pump in, and if you don't position your like nipple in the right position, and if the pump itself is not assembled 100% correctly, it won't pump. So you kind of have to spend maybe a minute or 2 readjusting, or sometimes I'll have to take the pump apart and reposition like the little green part, the little valve or whatever it is, and I'll have to put it back together again, stick it back on my breast, and then eventually it does start working. So that's a little bit annoying sometimes, because like if I'm trying to do this quickly and Jackson's screaming and Riley's screaming and I'm just like trying to get it done really fast, if I put it on and it's just having an issue, it's annoying that I have to like sit there and like take it apart and put it back together. But once it is working, it is working. Like it's not like it'll start suctioning, start pumping, and then like 2 minutes later it like dies. It's just that initial like setup on the breast, and it doesn't happen every time. Like plenty of times when I put it on and it's working fine, but every once in a while I have to kind of like reposition the breast, just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This little valve here, and I don't know if it's gonna focus, but there's like 2 little black lines here where you're gonna be sticking your nipple into, and your nipple is supposed to be like in the middle of those lines. There is like something to guide you in like where your nipple is supposed to be, but if it's not in that area, or if your nipple is like facing up, you know, like if your nipple is just doing weird stuff, then sometimes it's hard for like that suction to grab the nipple and then start to pump. So it does take a little bit of finagling sometimes. It's not something that has ever taken me like 5 or 10 minutes to do. Just sometimes it takes me like 2 or 3 minutes to actually get it right, which is something that wouldn't normally happen with a regular breast pump. With the Spectra, I just take the 2 little things, stick them on my boobs, and usually it just starts pumping right away. But even if it takes me 2 or 3 minutes of like getting it right every once in a while, the time that I get back and being able to do other things while I pump, I think it's worth it. I think the last thing that I'm going to mention is the app that it comes with. So there is an app that you can connect your breast pumps to. I don't really love the app, and I honestly really don't even use it too much. There's only one feature that I use it for that I will show you. So I'm going to take you guys off of the tripod. But once you get your Elvie, you can connect your Bluetooth or your Wi-Fi or whatever to the pumps, and then you have an app that's connected to the Elvie. So this is what the app looks like. Very easy to install. So like the actual setup process is very easy. So you can go to controls, and this is going to let you control both the left pump and the right pump. It lets you increase the suction or decrease the suction, which you can do on the actual pump itself. And then if you go to insights over here, like it has like this like average amount of like milk that you've collected. I don't find these to be very accurate at all, so that's why I don't even look at this. Same thing in home, like it kind of tells you like every day, like more or less like how much milk you like collected, but I don't go by this at all. If you go to status, this is what I actually like to use. So this tells you the status of each of the pumps, and what I like to do is I like to look at how long I've been pumping for. So it'll tell me, okay, this one is at 43% battery, 46% battery, so I need to charge them soon if I'm going to use them for the rest of the day. And then it tells me here how long I've been pumping for. To me, that is like the most useful feature. That's really what I turn this app on for. When I'm doing a million things, sometimes it's hard to like keep track of like when I started pumping and like how long I've been pumping for. Like it's just hard to keep track of that. So I like to know how long I've been pumping for, and I just love that I can turn on the app, and as soon as I turn it on the actual pump, it starts recording that, as long as it's like connected to my phone. So that's a feature that I find handy, and that's really what I use the app for. I guess, I don't know, maybe it's a little bit more accurate for other people. I honestly don't know. But at least in my experience, like you see how it's telling me like, okay, this side has like almost 2 ounces, because it'll tell you like more or less, and then this one is almost at 1 ounce. I don't think that's pretty accurate. But let's find out. Let's find out if the app was actually accurate, and then I'll show you how this looks like when you take them out. So let's go over back to the kitchen and I'll take them out, and then you guys can see like how I disassemble them and all of that. All right, so normally I wouldn't be pumping this long because I normally don't pump for 25 minutes, but this is saying that I have 2 ounces more or less here on the left, and I should have about like 1 ounce on the right. And now we can actually see what that looks like. Okay, so I'm gonna turn them off. All I have to do is just turn off the power button, or turn them off here and then turn off the power button. And then I literally just take them out of my bra. See, that's way more than what it's telling me I had. And then this is the other side. So I actually have, let me see, let me turn it around. There's gonna be like milk here because you get milk from where it was collecting it. This side is what, like almost at 2, or like 1.5, almost at 2. And then this side is like at 2.5, 3, I wanna say, maybe a little bit more than 3. So the app isn't very accurate, but whatever, we collected milk and I was filming a video at the same time, so I'm all about that life. So now all I do to collect this milk is, there's like this button over here, so I just press the button and I take it out, and then I just turn this and I can store this milk. So I'm actually gonna leave it closed so I can show you how I collect it with one of like the little storage bags. But that's really super easy. All you do is pull this out and I can wash this. I'll put both of those to wash, and again, just click the button, comes out super easily. And now I have all of this milk that I collected. These are some milk storage bags that I got at Target. They're the Up and Up brand, and they've been working just fine for me. So what I will normally do is just figure out how much milk I'm gonna store. I don't store all of my milk right now just because I have so much milk and I just don't know what to do with it. But I'm just gonna store this one, that's 3 ounces. So now what I'll do to collect the milk is, all I'll do is I'll like take this little green part out. So there's like a little spout. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's like, see if it'll focus. So there's like a little spout that makes it really easy to get this into the bag. I'll just open the bag and then I will pour the milk in here. Super easy. And then I can freeze this, I can store it, I can do whatever I want with it, but that's about it. So now the last thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually take these and I'm gonna charge them, so that way I have them ready for when I'm gonna use them later. So let's take them back to my room and charge them. I think I already mentioned it, but the actual hub itself is not supposed to get wet. There is this part down here that tends to get like some milk, so you can take like a little cloth and wash that, just so that it doesn't like build up like residue and stuff, but you're not supposed to like wet this. And when you're assembling these other pieces to put into the hub, this has to be completely dry. Okay, that's like one of the other things that I kind of like forgot to mention. This piece has to be completely dry because otherwise you're not going to get good suction. It's happened to me a couple times before where like there's still water under here and this part over here is still kind of wet. So then there's like not enough, I don't know how to explain it, but it doesn't work properly. So you want to make sure that anytime that you're going to go to use the pump, all of the parts are dry. So whether you have to like just take a little paper towel and wipe them dry, whatever you have to do, you don't want any of the pieces to be wet, otherwise it's not going to work. All right, so these are the cords that came with the box. So both of these cords were included with the Elvie. So I'm just going to open up the side. It's kind of hard to do with one hand, so I just put the camera down and I just charge them like I would with any of my devices, and that way they will be ready to go the next time that I need to pump. I don't have to like charge them after every single use, and you can see like the little light is on showing you that it's charging, but at least once a day, like in the middle of the day, I'll put them to charge because like I said, I'm pumping a lot of times throughout the day. So I want to make sure that I don't like get to a point where I need to pump and then they're not ready to go. That would kind of be a con to these, the fact that they do need to be charged to work. With the Spectra, like if I ever needed to pump, I could plug it into the wall and just go ahead and pump. It's happened to me a couple of times where I'm ready to pump, ready to go, and I go to grab them and I realize that they're not charged. So that's annoying because then I can't pump right away and it kind of throws me off of my pumping schedule. So if I were to list like some cons, that would be one. But again, if you can stay on top of it and you're not a hot mess like I am, then that shouldn't be an issue. But yeah, that's my review of the Elvie. I have to go because Riley is screaming and wants my attention and I need to go attend to her. Overall, I love it. I would recommend this to every new mom who's gonna be pumping. I don't think you necessarily necessarily need the double breast pump if you're not going to be pumping all the time. I think you can definitely get away with just one. If you want to like maybe pump on one side while you're feeding on the other side, like everybody's situation is different. And again, I know that it's expensive, but I would recommend this to every new mom who's going to be pumping just to make your life easier. Like I would honestly sacrifice on some of the other baby products that I bought that were a little bit more expensive to have some more money for this, so that I could be pumping at the same time that I'm doing other things while I'm doing chores around the house. It just gives me a lot of that freedom back. It gives me a lot of my time back. And so overall, I love this. Yes, it has some little kinks that have to be worked out, but it's not like I haven't been able to use it. It's not like I've been like, screw this, I'm gonna go back to my Spectra. I will never go back to my Spectra, because after having this, you just get so used to like not being tied down and not having to like lug this little thing around. I'll show you, I have it here. So this is my Spectra, and even though I loved it, even though it worked just fine, this is bulky, right? And that's that I don't even have like the actual pump parts in here. This one ran on battery, so sure, I didn't have to be like up against a wall, like I could move, but I would have to like carry this around, and you know, I would still have to be holding the parts in unless I had like one of those bras that you can put the pump parts in and it's like a hands-free pumping whatever. It's still a pain in the butt. That, what I just did, was so much easier. So highly recommend it. I'm gonna leave links down below if you guys want to check them out. If you guys have any specific questions about them, leave them down below, because again, I was trying to do this in a hurry and I'm sure that I missed stuff, but I love it. So definitely check it out if you guys are interested, and thank you guys so much for watching. So if you did enjoy this, if you found it helpful, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.